Welcome to another edition of History in Your Own Backyard. Today we're visiting a true historic site. We're at the Harrison Tomb right here in Miami Township, Ohio. Mr. Terry Simpson, the director of the Harrison Sims Museum, is going to teach us and show us around. Let's go. So Terry, this is an amazing place. Tell us all about where we are.
Okay. Well, we're inside the original tomb of William Henry Harrison, the burial site. When Harrison became president, 1841, no one expected him to die so soon, and the country was not prepared for his death, and the family was not prepared with a burial site for the president. So while the government is trying to figure out just how do we handle this, because he was the first president to die in office, the family is having to begin work on a crypt to bury the president in. So after the ceremonies in Washington D.C., Harrison's body was placed in a temporary crypt at the Congressional Cemetery in Washington D.C. and this tomb was being built at that time. So it was not until July of 1841 that the president's body was moved from Washington D.C. to here in North Bend. Now the body traveled by rail to the river and then onto a steamboat, and they stopped in Cincinnati and had ceremonies there in Cincinnati, and then members of the Cincinnati community, they got on steamboats. I think there were 3 that came down the river to North Bend. Harrison's body was on the steamer Raritan, and then the body was placed here with another ceremony here. At the time, there were fewer crypts here, vaults, but over time that was expanded. But it's interesting to note that the ceiling here is curved,
Right.
and this is the original roof of the tomb. Now, if you go when you're outside, you look, it's flat.
Right.
That came along later on.
Okay.
But also, one of the interesting things is that the entrance was here facing the west.
Okay.
And I think it was around 1879 when Benjamin Harrison's father, John Scott Harrison, passed away. That's a whole another story where he was buried over in Congressional Cemetery, and his body was stolen by grave robbers.
Wow.
So they wanted to have a more permanent place, a more secure place for John Scott, so that he was buried here. So Benjamin Harrison, one of his brothers, they had some work done to the tomb itself, so they added the flat roof that you'll see outside. And originally that was, they kind of poured blocks of cement. Grass would grow in the cracks, and there's pictures where you can see that. But they also then changed that entrance to where the entrance now faces the south. So,
And those doors stay locked. So
these
even
doors,
people who come and visit, they can see from the gates, they can peep in and they can take pictures,
Right.
but no one is allowed back here. So we have special access, right?
well, yes, unless you contact, someone with the Harrison Sims Foundation or contact us at the museum, and we can make arrangements to let people in.
Now I think people, probably younger people especially, would be interested to know that there was a president that was from around this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, there were 2. William Henry Harrison was born in Virginia, but moved out here to North Bend. He was stationed at Fort Washington, and Anna, his wife, lived here in North Bend. She was the daughter of John Cleave Sims. So he was a short enough distance he could court
Right.
Anna,
Right.
and they ended up settling here in North Bend.
Right.
Benjamin, who was the grandson of William Henry, he was born in North Bend at the Harrison home.
Okay. Nice. Well, thank you so much. I know we're going to take another look around and see some other things. Now, let me ask you this. If people do want to come and visit. Not inside, but they can visit the monument and walk around.
Right.
Is it just open for anyone to come?
Well, yeah, it's open throughout the year as far as the grounds. Now, there are two gates, this gate into the tomb, and then the other gate out here to the entrance. That is open during spring, summer, fall.
Okay.
It will be open so that people can walk up to this gate and look in and see where the folks are buried at. I do want to point out, John Scott Harrison is buried here, as I said, and he is significant in American history because he's the only man to be the son of a president and the father of a president. So the other folks buried here are family members. The early 1920s, there was some work done, and that the obelisk that you see from the highway, that was added then. So that was not original to this site. And then you have the inscriptions, that tell the accomplishments of Harrison that are engraved on the limestone of the obelisk. It's the same situation as the museum, where if people want to come and visit with groups, they can call the Harrison Sims Foundation. They can contact the museum, and we'll be more than happy to meet them here and give them the tour.
Nice. Well, I know that we're going to go out and take a look around, so thanks so much for teaching us about this awesome historical site in our country. Today, we spent time learning about President William Henry Harrison's tomb right here in Miami Township, Ohio. I hope you enjoyed learning all about it. Mr. Terry Simpson from the Harrison Sims Museum taught us and showed us around. Remember, travel slowly and stop often. We'll see you next time.